Good morning and welcome from Spain. The drivers will be needing every bit of grip and confidence they can find today as they try to find their way around this historic circuit in some very difficult conditions. No cars on track just yet then. We'll be getting the green light in a couple of minutes and all eyes are fixed on the sky. Anthony Davidson, I think they're hoping to spot a nice patch of blue heading this way.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon though, does it? I'm not sure how many teams will be willing to send their cars out in these conditions, to be honest. There are guys out in the pit lane with leaf blowers trying to clear the worst of the standing water away, but it seems like a bit of a futile effort as things stand right now. Of course, the best way to clear water is to get cars out on track. The trouble is, no one wants to be the first one out there. As soon as one or two sensible lap times appear on the monitors though, more are guaranteed to follow.
What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to episode number 6, I think this is, for the Spanish Grand Prix. Wet for practice, as you can see, or intermediate conditions I should say, and definitely finding it a bit tricky to get used to. I think this is practice 3 now that you're looking at right now. This was held in full wet conditions, so I decided to drive out, and as you can see, about 20 seconds after I went out of the pits I was facing the wrong way, so yeah, that's a real confidence boost. But we got a couple of laps in and then we spun out again, so not really the perfect start to the weekend, but all in all we got all the resource points and everything, so yeah, can't complain all that much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change over all new engine components, because as you can see, after doing the first 4 races, I had to think there for a minute what I was actually trying to say, but after doing the first 4, especially the ICE, as you can see, definitely doesn't look very healthy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all new engine components in, so we can have a brand new engine, brand new gearbox for the race as well. So without further ado, let's go and get into qualifying.
You join us today at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya for what's bound to be a really hectic qualifying as the teams compete to set the best lap times. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction, and over the course of a lap it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now and it never gets any easier.
Alright, so here we are for the first part of qualifying. That didn't come out the right way at all, did it? But we've fueled up for 2 laps. As you can see, our first lap has only put us in P14, so not really a great lap, so I decided to go for it again. We had enough fuel to go for 2 flying laps. As we come around, we're not going to improve by, you know, half a second or anything major, but hopefully this will be enough. Do we get out of Q1? And we do, P13. So maybe lacking a little bit of pace, surprisingly, even with the new engine, so that is a little bit surprising. Ricardo up there in P7, as you can see. A couple of people on the medium tyres, both Red Bulls and I believe Lewis Hamilton as well, so a little bit interesting, but yeah, we make it through, so all's well and good so far. On now to Q2, I believe this is. Devon Butler sets the provisional pole time as we come through the final chicane now. Feel like this lap has been pretty decent. As we come up to the line, we're going to set only a 1:20.0, and that kind of surprised me because the lap felt good but the time wasn't there, so yeah, as you can see, we're going out again at the end of the session in Q2 on the very last set of brand new soft compound tyres that we have available. Currently in P8, and we remain P8. We improved by just under a tenth, but thankfully that was just enough to get us into the final part of qualifying. Daniel Ricciardo gets through as well, but again, it just seems to be the same old story. Ricciardo is ahead of us. Like, what are we doing wrong? I feel like we're putting in decent laps, but I don't know, maybe the Honey Badger is just in a good groove around this racetrack. But anyway, as we cut on now to the end of Q3, fast forwarded to the end of the session, I just decided I was just going to go set one flying lap on the brand new set of soft compound tyres that you get given. You get given a additional set by the FIA if you make it into the final part of qualifying. So we're just going to go on an all-out blast now and see if we can maybe get on the third, fourth row of the grid. One other thing, a couple of things I want to clarify as well as we're going through this hot lap. As everyone would know by now, the newest patch from, the new patch from Codemasters has come out. I've recorded a couple of career mode episodes ahead. This one that you're seeing right now, the Spanish Grand Prix, was recorded about a week ago, or I don't know, it was recorded about 2 days after I uploaded the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and then on the very next day I recorded the Monaco Grand Prix. So the Canadian Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, I think that's how it's pronounced, but anyway, that will be the first episode with the updated car performance and so on. I haven't been in and had a look or anything, so I don't know what it looks like, but I've seen some pretty crazy things from a couple of friends, but it'll be interesting to see how it all goes. But anyway, getting back to the action now as we come around the final corner. A couple of mistakes throughout the lap, and I believe that was position 9. And yes, it is. So there we go, we will start from 9th place. Wait, no we won't. We will be starting from 14th place. I momentarily forgot about the grid penalty for a new gearbox and etc. Leading the rivalry against our teammate and Lucas Faber, being out qualified by both, so yeah, not quite ideal, but either way, I feel like we've got a strong car underneath us, and with all brand new engine components, hopefully that might give us a little bit extra boost in a straight line where we need it, and we can drag this Renault back up into the points, and who knows, could we maybe score another podium? Is that possible? So let's go get into the race.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is, that'll depend on what the other drivers get.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson, so there's no avoiding it. Let's start by discussing Devon Butler. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and, of course, little tolerance for mistakes.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula 1 have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Devon Butler and Leclerc. Ricciardo, Weber, Perez, and Roman Grosjean. Norris, Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen, Lee, Stroll, Kvyat, George Russell, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kubica and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Alright, here we are on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Starting from P14, not really where you want to be, but I didn't really want to run with the older engine components at this racetrack, knowing that it is a bit of a power circuit. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we fare up against some of these teams further up the field. So away we go for the formation lap. Ricciardo out there in P7, so hopefully he can, I don't know, could he maybe jump? I think that was Leclerc, was it, in front of him? And I don't know, maybe he can hold one or two of the top guys up, and yeah, we can try and make our way through and hopefully make something of this race. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. As always, I just want to remind you guys, if you enjoy, remember, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff to keep up to date with all these career mode episodes and anything else that I might have planned at any certain point in time. And yeah, so with all that said and done, awaiting 5 red lights here for the Spanish Grand Prix. And away we go. Lights were on for a little longer than usual there. Kimi Raikkonen blind at start, trying to split the McLarens. I think that is. Sainz on the right, Norris on the left. 3 wide down into turn 1. Can we pick an avenue somewhere? We're going to go down the inside of Carlos Sainz. That is P13. No, he's still there. But we have the inside run, and that should be 13th place as we come up around here. And we do. Can we potentially lunge Kimi Raikkonen? Around the outside. We're going to try go around the outside of Lando Norris. Nothing doing there. That was a very optimistic move. We're going to lunge up the inside though into the next left-hander. That should be P11 as long as we can get good traction, and we do. Man, that was a really good start. Anyway, right on the back of Romain Grosjean. Grosjean's on the hard tyres, so I presume he must have qualified 11th or 12th or something, so he's going to go really long in this first stint, so we'll need the dispatch of him as quickly as we can. Up the inside at the end of the back straight, and there we go. That's up into P10, so already basically back to where we did originally qualify. Sergio Perez is the next car that we got to pick off. I'm not really looking forward to trying to dispose of Perez, because that Racing Point, while it is very quick in a straight line, it's like, yeah, absolutely hopeless through the corners. But coming on to lap 3, we've got DRS on the back straight. We nearly have the left side tyres in the grass. Lunge up the inside, little lock up on the left front tyre, but there we go, we get the move done. That's up in the P9, back up to where we originally qualified, and it's only taken us not quite 3 laps. Coming on now to lap 4, we've caught up to Daniel Ricciardo and Lucas Weber. This is a battle for 7th position. Perez still behind us, so we've got to be a little bit careful with him. And speaking of Racing Point, Lance Stroll is out of the race, so let's go see what happened to him. Looks like maybe a engine problem. Certainly doesn't seem like a gearbox problem, so I don't know. There's no smoke coming from the car, but Stroll pulls over and pulls out, so yeah, his day's done and dusted very early, so the Canadian probably very pissed off with that. But into the pits we go on lap number 5 to get rid of these soft compound tyres. I believe we're the only one in the pits, are we? No, I think a Ferrari was in the pits as well. I think that was Sebastian Vettel. I couldn't say for certain. But either way, fairly decent pit stop from the Renault boys. 2.7 seconds, so can't complain about that. As we cut on now to lap 8, a couple of people have come in for pit stops. We're now chasing down Alex Albon. Lunge up the inside at the end of the back straight. Lock the rears, I think, there actually. But we managed to get the move done. cutting on a couple of corners later onto the front straight. This is Antonio Giovinazzi that we're now attempting to blast past, but even with DRS overtake mode, he's still actually faster than us in a straight line. So the Alfa Romeo with reasonable horsepower, but we get the move done. We add the inside, so back up to P13 now on lap 9. Charles Leclerc just in front of us in the Ferrari. I think, who's he got for company? That's Robert Kubica, and I believe right in front of Kubica is actually Leclerc's teammate Sebastian Vettel. As we come onto lap 9, Leclerc trying to go around the outside. Kubica locks up right front, actually runs into the Ferrari a little bit, round the outside in a very unorthodox place to get that done for Charles and ourselves, but we managed to dispose of the Williams. Now cutting on to lap 10, we have Leclerc trying to go up the inside of Danny Kvyat, I believe that is. Kvyat had slipstream off Sebastian Vettel, mind you, so Sebastian really kind of not doing his teammate too many favours. We managed to just squeak through on the outside / turns to the inside of the Russian. That was a kind of odd description, but anyway. On to lap 11 now. Sebastian has caught and passed the second Williams of George Russell, and now it's Leclerc's turn along with ourselves. And as you can see, the Williams with really decent straight line speed, and Leclerc is actually not gaining. I think Russell might have DRS off Sebastian, so we're going to try to go around the outside of the Ferrari, and we do. How about that? We did it to a Mercedes in Azerbaijan, and now we've done it to a Ferrari here in Spain. But we can't relax too much. Now we've got to get through on George Russell in the Williams. We get superb drive traction compared to the Brit. And there we go. Or is it? No, I think he might have just tapped us a little bit there. But we get the move done. Jump on board with Russell to have a quick replay. And no contact. But around the outside, clean move. Leclerc still stuck behind him. But as we cut on to lap 13, Leclerc cleared Russell. And when he got DRS, that was pretty much done and dusted. He blew past us again and demoted us back down to P10. Still in the points, so it is looking likely for a points finish, oddly enough. Now we cut on to lap 16, following Romain Grosjean. Been a long time since we've seen the Frenchman in this race, but we can try, maybe think about a move. Nope, Grosjean locks up the... I think he had a double lock up on the front tyres, and yeah, thanks for that, as a quote from Nico Hulkenberg. But anyway, still hanging on to the back of Leclerc as we cut on to lap 19. I think both Ferraris actually pitted on lap 17 and 18, so we're currently in P5. So things are actually looking pretty decent for maybe a top 5 finish in this race. It'll definitely be tricky to try and hold off the Ferraris. That's if we emerge anywhere near them. But yeah, into the pits now for the final set of medium tyres. Let's hope for a quick pit stop from the Renault boys. Old tyres come off, new ones go on, and there we go. 2.4, so 3/10 quicker than our first pit stop. And as you can see, the Ferraris, there goes Sebastian Vettel. Here comes Charles Leclerc. Can we get out in front of the Monegasque? It's going to be side by side into the first corner, but we just managed to get out in front of Leclerc. And interestingly enough, they're on hard tyres. Okay. This kind of throws a little bit of a spanner in the works. I honestly thought that they would both go on the mediums, but a slight interference as we have a VSC, a virtual safety car. Alex Albon is out of the session. I believe he retired in Bahrain, and plumes of smoke coming from behind that Toro Rosso, so that suggests a engine failure to me, so he definitely won't be very impressed with that. But as we cut back to us, Lucas Weber pulls into the pits. Virtual safety car still out, but we cut on a little bit later on lap 22. The virtual safety car ends and we get back to racing. Charles Leclerc behind us, Sebastian Vettel in front. So we're currently in P6, so definitely looking good for a points finish. I think Vettel's on the hards as well, just like his teammate, so could we potentially try and hunt down Sebastian Vettel And as you can see, coming on lap 27, we've done just that. We have caught up with the Ferrari. We're going to go round the outside in turn 1 for a second time during this race. And how about that? That's now up to P5. So with 6-7 laps to go, we're in the top 5 here at the Spanish Grand Prix, but we sure as hell can't relax because we know that those Ferraris are pretty damn slippery in a straight line. Case in point right here, coming on to lap 28, Sebastian with DRS throws it back up the inside, little lock up on the right front tyre, just trying to get it stopped in case Sebastian overshot. But there we go, he's got us back. So our only hope is to try and stick within DRS and maybe try and give him a taste of his own medicine. As you can see, cutting onto lap 29, we've done exactly that. Up the inside on the front straight, and there we go, back up into P5. This is really kind of a yo-yo effect at the moment. One lap it's me getting the DRS and the overtake, the very next lap it's Sebastian. So this is kind of a yo-yo effect between us at the moment. I am honestly pushing, but every time Sebastian just comes back at us again, lunges up the inside. As you can see, we try and hold it around the outside, turns to the inside. Now we're on the outside again. Oh, that's sketchy. I believe we actually touched wheels. Sebastian gets the move done, and now Leclerc is looking up the inside. We try and hold off the Monegasque driver around the outside, and this is really not what I wanted. A little bit of contact there, lock up on the left front. I think we might have squeezed Charles just a little bit. You see, jump on board with the Ferrari, and yeah, we just squeezed him ever so slightly, so I'll put my hand up there. We definitely should have left Charles a little bit more room, but anyway, on the lap 31, and once again, DRS overtake mode, rich fuel mixture. Goodbye, Sebastian Vettel. Nice knowing you. Get it stopped in the first corner, and there we go, back up into P5. Can we potentially try and not be repassed again by the Ferrari? But nope, with DRS, he comes back for more. So, we try to go around the outside again. What's this? Take 5, 6 or 7? Now, round the outside again, and there we go. We hold on to P5. We're on the penultimate lap of the race now. Sebastian comes back up the inside. We're going to try to go around the outside. So close, almost contact between us. Leclerc is ready and waiting, but Sebastian locks up horribly on the left front. That's going to give an opportunity to Leclerc. The Ferrari's now side by side, and they actually were side by side through nearly the whole second half of the lap, but they actually lost DRS to me on this last lap of the race. So as long as we make no mistakes, don't compound it, we should be right to come home for 5th place here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Not what I expected from P14 on the grid, but as you can see, coming to the end of the lap now, we're pretty much home safe and sound. Valtteri Bottas wins the Spanish Grand Prix for Mercedes, so they will be wrapped with that, no doubt. But as we come towards the final couple of corners, Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race, so he'll score an extra World Championship point. That'll definitely help him out. But as we come round the final corner, it's going to be another top 5 finish here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Get in there.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So there we go, guys. Valtteri Bottas wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton second, Devon Butler third, Verstappen fourth, Lee Carnomin fifth. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, Valtteri Bottas re-overtakes us with a victory. Excuse me. And Red Bull re-overtakes us in the Constructors. So let's go and talk to Claire.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Your old opponent from F2 had a great race. What goes through your mind when you see him up on the podium? You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Appreciate your time.
Alright, thank you very much, Claire, for being a pain in the backside like normal. But anyway, we almost have won the rivalry against Daniel Ricciardo, so that's pretty good. We'll get a decent haul of resource points as well, which I'm not sure where that'll put us to. We get 356, that sets us to 741, so pretty decent haul of resource points. So all in all, really good comeback from 14th.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take him on, it might help get your name out there a bit.
Alright, so we have another couple of invitational events. We'll probably just do those off camera. Couple of interview transcripts again, second one of the season, from Lucas and from Devon. Not really bothered by what they have to say, to be honest. Definitely couldn't give a crap about what Devon has to say, and I reckon I am not the only person who thinks that as well. But anyway, let's go over to the R&D tree and have a look if we can do any particular upgrades to anything. I think we've got a power upgrade coming for the Monaco Grand Prix. We've got a chassis upgrade for the Monaco Grand Prix as well, so things are looking good. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in as always. Hope you enjoyed. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until the next episode, I'll see you guys next time.